Trump's Twitter attack strains the UK-US relationship. London, CNN. The so-called special relationship between Britain and the US was under increasing strain Thursday after President Donald Trump publicly rebuked Prime Minister Theresa May over his dissemination of anti-Muslim propaganda. In an extraordinary diplomatic clash between two allies, Trump took aim at May on Wednesday evening, tweeting, @Theresa_May, don't focus on me, focus on the destructive radical Islamic terrorism that is taking place within the United Kingdom. We are doing just fine. Trump had earlier caused outrage in Britain by retweeting 3 videos posted by Jada Franson, the deputy leader of the far-right UK party Britain First. The inflammatory videos showed people purported to be Muslims carrying out assaults and, in one video, smashing a statue of the Virgin Mary. Downing Street condemned Trump, saying he was wrong to share videos by a group that seeks to divide communities through their use of hateful narratives which peddle lies and stoke tensions. Franson was found guilty of religiously aggravated harassment in November 2016 after abusing a Muslim woman wearing a hijab. State visit pressure. After Trump's attack on May, there was intense pressure on the British government to cancel the US president's planned state visit to the UK. Mayor of London Sadiq Khan said Trump's latest outburst meant it had become increasingly clear that any official visit at all from President Trump to Britain would not be welcomed and called on May to call it off. President Trump yesterday used Twitter to promote a vile, extremist group that exists solely to sow division and hatred in our country, Khan said in a statement on Thursday. Many Brits who love America and Americans will see this as a betrayal of the special relationship between our two countries. It beggars belief that the president of our closest ally doesn't see that his support of this extremist group actively undermines the values of tolerance and diversity that makes Britain so great. Speaking in the House of Commons on Thursday, Home Secretary Amber Rudd did not withdraw the invitation, saying it had been extended and accepted. But she stressed that no dates or arrangements had been made. May is traveling in the Middle East and is expected to respond during a question-and-answer session following a speech she is due to give later in Amman, Jordan. Asked at the regular Downing Street press briefing on Thursday whether the British government had raised the issue of Trump's tweets with the Trump administration, a spokesman for May said, "Government officials are in touch with the White House regularly, including in the last couple of days. You wouldn't expect me to get into details of those conversations." When asked about Trump's direct criticism of May and the presence of radical Islamic terrorism in the UK, the spokesman said, "I wouldn't take a position on that. Presidents come and go. It fell to Justine Greening, a British cabinet minister, to address the controversy in a round of UK media interviews on Thursday morning. Greening said she did not agree with the tweets, but said the relationship between the two countries would survive Trump. "In the end, our relationship with the United States has a longevity to it that will succeed long after presidents come and go," she told the BBC. "I don't agree with the tweet President Trump has made," But I have to say I also believe it should not distract from the agenda we have domestically, and I don't believe it should detract from the close relationship the UK has had for many, many years and will go on to have with America and the American people. Britain's Education Secretary and Minister for Women and Equalities Justine Greening has criticised Trump over his tweets. Britain's Education Secretary and Minister for Women and Equalities Justine Greening has criticised Trump over his tweets. Trump's rebuke to May was originally addressed to the wrong Twitter account, one that had only 6 followers and has sent only 9 tweets. After deleting his first effort in successfully locating the Twitter handle of the British Prime Minister, he lashed out at Downing Street for its criticism of him retweeting anti-Muslim videos posted online by far-right British group Britain First. Before Trump's repost, another British cabinet minister, Sajid Javid, who is Muslim, took a stronger line. "So POTUS has endorsed the views of a vile, hate-filled racist organization that hates me and people like me," he said in a Twitter post. "He is wrong and I refuse to let it go and say nothing." The leader of the opposition Labour Party, Jeremy Corbyn, called the retweets abhorrent, dangerous and a threat to our society. Trump faced a barrage of criticism in the UK Parliament on Thursday that was unprecedented for a US president. MPs variously called him racist, fascist and evil. Labour MP Paul Flynn said Trump should be charged with inciting racial hatred if he enters the UK. Earlier, Brendan Cox, the husband of murdered British lawmaker Joe Cox, whose killer reportedly shouted Britain First as he stabbed her, said Trump had become a purveyor of hate. He told CNN's Anderson Cooper, "This is like the president retweeting the Ku Klux Klan. This is not a mainstream organization, and for the President of the United States, our greatest ally as a country, to be retweeting, to be providing a microphone to those voices." One of the videos purports to show a young Muslim migrant attacking a boy on crutches. The Dutch Attorney General's office, which handled the case, said the incident occurred in May and the suspect was born and raised in the Netherlands. A spokesperson would not comment on the suspect's religion, saying it was against official policy to share such information. May in tight spot. May's attempts to woo the U.S. have left her in a difficult position. With a view to strengthening Anglo-U.S. relations after Brexit, May was the first world leader to meet Trump after his inauguration, flying out to Washington to launch a charm offensive. But the visit went down badly at home. She was widely criticized for taking Trump's hand while walking at the White House, while she was also derided for offering him the invitation of a state visit so early in his presidency. British Prime Minister Theresa May and U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House in January. British Prime Minister Theresa May and U.S. President Donald Trump at the White House in January. Since then, the decision has come under further criticism as Trump has made a series of interventions in British politics. In October, he incorrectly suggested there was a link between rising crime rates in the United Kingdom and the spread of radical Islamic terror. In September, He railed against loser terrorists behind the London tube explosion and suggested that the perpetrator was known to authorities and recruited on the internet, prompting May and a London police spokesperson to publicly rebuke the president. And in June, soon after news reports surfaced about the London Bridge terror attacks, he seized on the moment to promote a travel ban. He has also been involved in a number of Twitter disputes with K.N.B.T, the London mayor,